What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. We're at Federal Emergency Bunker and we are playing with this bad boy. Yes, the Shroud with the premium skin on as well, just because it adds more damage. It doesn't add any more damage, but don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and let me show you what it is I've been playing with. Alright, so they get to a point in this game where we don't actually have to hit for more damage. We can hit 20-30 million and that's probably enough. But this build here can actually hit for over 110 million solo by myself. So I'm kind of hoping that we will see that happen. There's 108. This guy's going to ruin it for us. Well, let's just see. You know, and the thing is, I don't really like playing sniper builds now. Since we played determined builds for so long, I feel like they've spoiled my immersion. But I've not activated the modifier yet. We're on a cooldown, and that's what gives you that final burst of damage to take it over the 90 to 100. So 93 there to a no armored enemy. And that's what we'll do actually, right? So 89, probably about as high as it's going to get. $92 on the elite, which is way more than enough. You know, like, it's nothing, no regular heroic enemy is taking that amount of damage and surviving. I wonder if 72 to the chest. So even when you come under that kind of panic situation, you're still going to be good and you can go straight back to the headshots. And yeah, easy peasy. So let's just reset that section. Not going to run a mission doing this. I just wouldn't. I mean, determined is still just so good. This is just more of a showcase for people who don't want to run determined. You know, you think, oh, what should I run? Well, maybe this is going to be your answer. Let's hope I can stack up okay here, and let's see what happens. 113 there already. We've already kind of done it. 134, 120, 111. Holy smokes, I wasn't expecting it to hit that hard. And then this guy's going to ruin it for us. I missed. Oh, and we're out of modifier. So we capped out at 134. Which is absolutely insane. And then we're going to be back down to the kind of regular damage that we did. Alright, so let's just kind of get out of here. If we can. Probably can't. Oh, do you know what as well? I could have used smart cover. And I didn't. We potentially could have hit for even more. I feel like we should just give it one more go.
Incoming backup request.
Because the potential for doing more damage is here. $104, 115. Oh man, he's hiding. He's hiding. Ah, oh, no, no extra damage. Oh well, it's where it is. Right, let's get ourselves out of here. But we don't need to kill everything, and let's show you the build. And I'm also going to go through the options that I considered, just so you kind of cover all your own bases at this point. So, the first thing that I was considering was running 4-piece hotshot. So the downside to running 4-piece hotshots is we need to keep these 2 in the build. So then we have to take the backpack, and the problem with the backpack is it provides us with no extra damage. Now this is probably fine to run. We don't need all of this damage. So if you want to be able to miss a shot and still stack the damage bonus from headache, then that's absolutely fine to do. And I think, you know, that's probably a viable build, you know, by itself as well. But that was the first thing that I considered. I then also considered running the chain killer itself, because the chain killer by itself with perfect headhunter does more damage than the HG chest, especially when we're adding amplified damage. So that's something that I thought about as well, rather than running the HG chest. I then also thought about running just 3 hotshots and not running the Araldi, because it looks like it's going to add 30% headshot damage rather than the 10% marksman rifle damage that Araldi gives us. And that feels like that would win out. 30% headshot is a lot, but actually in this scenario it does not win out. The 10% marksman rifle damage from the Araldi absolutely wins out as well. And the reason why the HGs are good to use is because the 20% marksman rifle damage here as well beats out any other 2-piece bonus that we're getting, in combination with the 1-piece bonus, which is the 13% headshot damage. So after trying all them pieces, this is what we came to, and I'll go through it in exacts in just a minute. But first of all, let's just take a look at the Shroud. Yes, I did amp the Shroud up to 30% weapon damage. Is it needed? No, absolutely not. You could run this with no expertise whatsoever and still be hitting for 60, 70, 80 million and have no problems one-shotting any bad guy on heroic, just like I'm doing here as well. What I would recommend though is definitely running 2 damage targets out of cover. Do the re-roll until you get that. So as you can see here, we get this talent. So high priority target amplifies weapon damage by 125% to the highest ranking enemies currently in combat as per the tier hierarchy. So as you can see here, whichever is the highest tier of bad guy on the field, you get that damage bonus. Now you pretty much get that damage bonus at all times when you're running regular heroic missions, because they're always within the same hierarchy. So if you're not doing any kind of black tusk, white tusk kind of stuff, the only thing that you're really ever going to run into is potentially like a medic or a tank, or maybe you know, hunters or something like that. And again, that's a rarity when, you know, when you're running through, say, Lincoln Memorial or something like that. It's this very, very rare. So you kind of get in the 125% at all times, or if not a lot of the time. And then you can combine these with the new overdogs. Now the overdogs come with crit chance, crit damage, which is not ideal, but we want to take the talent, the extra 30% extra amp from this as well. Amp damage is absolutely huge, and when we're combining that with adding the weapon damage that we're doing, it's just such a huge increase that's why you're starting to see them crazy numbers. And again, we're constantly getting the 30% a lot of the time, because although this is the weakest link and it works the other way around, we are constantly getting the same tier of enemy. All the enemies in this first section here, what I've just shown you in here, all class as the same tier, so they all get the biggest bonus that we can. So just from them two alone, we've got 125% amp and another 30, so 155% amp. So when you're just running regular heroic missions, this build works really well. So then we're going to look at, so these are hard pieces to get right. The HG pieces are incredibly hard. They are what I would class as unicorns. So if you can only get one of the backpack right, or one of the chest pieces right, then I would definitely recommend the holster being the other HG piece, and then the Araldi could be the chest or the backpack. That would definitely be the way around I would run it. So we'll just show you the hotshot mask first of all. A headshot across the board. The knees, headshots across the board. Again, the knees could be the, you know, the hotshots could be the holster and the mask, you know, any combination that you want. The Araldi just needs to be weapon handling and headshots. You could go crit chance if you wanted to. I just like the extra reload. I feel like it gets me out of a little bit of a bind if something's rushing you. Then we've got the HG chest piece, like I said, taking the brand set bonuses into account. Weapon damage, headshot damage, weapon handling headshot with headhunter. And the reason this is a unicorn, because as a minimum, you need to get headshot damage here so that you can roll the core attribute to red, because as standard it comes as blue. So if you manage to get weapon handling headshot and then you can roll the core attribute, you're winning. Headshot crit chance, you're winning. So just keep an eye out for this. Definitely a hard piece to get. And the same goes for the backpack. Weapon handling headshot with vigilance on the bottom as well. You could perhaps go unstoppable force and stack it up to it as well. That would work pretty well. But to be honest, you could also just run the memento. And okay, you're not going to hit as hard, but you're going to add a load of survivability into the build right off the rip. As well, you don't have to run the TAC 50 rifle here either. You could run gunner, and the reason I say that you could run gunner is that the fact that you will get some armor on kill, which will certainly help you out when it comes to survivability, because we've got no other survivability here at all anywhere else. And if we wander into here and you take a look at the sharpshooter itself, we get this, which actually gives us 15% increased headshot damage with rifles and marksman rifles. And I think people forget about this bonus when it comes to using rifles and marksman rifle bonuses, and 15% is definitely nothing to slouch at. And obviously just remember you've got your 15% there as well. But again, like I said, this is absolutely maxed and it's really not needed. You could build a whole bunch of survivability in, like I've talked about. I did obviously talk about building momentum in, but then you would have to change the overdogs because obviously you can't run two. But that would be perfectly fine. You know, you could run some HG gloves instead. You could run some hot shot gloves. You could run Foxy's Prayers. And you can tone this build down quite a lot. Really, most of the damage is just coming from just using the Shroud in combination with Headhunter. So building survivability in for this is absolutely fine. We're obviously using the damage version of Smart Cover because it will give us that 14% damage to targets out of cover, which is nice. And I think that's probably what we tagged when we hit our biggest number at the beginning, because I think they were running when I hit them rather than the ones that sat in cover. So there's that as well, which is really, really nice. And then when it comes to the seasonal modifiers, it just makes sense to run Zealot because it's just a flat increase in damage. We are going to be playing behind the scenes in cover as well anyway. So when that EMP goes off, it doesn't really matter too much. We can just pop a med kit. And don't forget, you can also double tap to get partial med kit heal if you're in a bit more of a rush. But I am level 5. And you can see here, I don't know how many stacks this actually got up to. Does it work in the range? Can we see how many stacks we really are hitting for and what the actual maximum damage number would be? I don't know if it works in the range. We're 42. I don't feel like yet. Is that 120? Probably missed it now. Yeah, 113 then. I feel like Zealot is still on, but because we are hitting for over 100. It doesn't feel like it's working properly. It feels like it was bugging out on the side a little bit. But anyway, either way, it really doesn't matter. So then let's take a look at the stats. So you can see it's huge, right? 284% headshot damage, which is absolutely insane. So when it comes to the modifiers, Zealot's the way to go. That's going to be definitely how you're going to get the most damage. Then it makes sense that eliminating assaults with headshots adds hollow point ammo. Again, something that you're always going to get with this, because you're always going to be aiming at the head. Because we're always going to be in cover. If we're going to headshot snipers, we might as well take the extra headshot damage as well. that would be nice. And then as well, we've got here the passive modifier. When you break any pieces of tank's armor, all pieces are broken. And when you're playing a sniper build, tanks can be very, very tricky. So doing this just helps that cause just a little bit more. And that's what I thought I would go with. So yeah, hitting a sniper with the extra 100% damage, that's going to be wild. That would get, you know, even higher amount of damage than we've actually showcased. But yeah, we got a nice content creator number, although, you know, it's not necessarily the reality of this build, but it's just crazy. And yeah, the gun is really good if you want to play, you know, a sniper build properly, which I think, you know, some people have been wanting to for a long time and feel like determined ruins the game. With all that said though, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye bye.